Welcome back to the Church on a Mission videos, and today we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 6. And from verse 6 it says this: "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up." So Ben, you've got 3 girls.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about what's God saying in this passage here.
There's tons. I'm just thinking practically, how do you impress what God's put in your heart onto your children? And I love the practicality of this verse. It's saying, talk about them when you sit at home. Well, when's that? When you eat. When you eat together, let's talk about your day. Who's got something they want to tell us about their day? They all want to. That's going to give you the chance to comment on stuff, what was good or bad about it. When you sit down, you're watching telly maybe, or a movie. What was good about that? What was bad about that? Who's the baddie in this case? Is the baddie always the baddie, or are we like a bit of both, you know? When you walk along the road, we walk along the road to take them to school, to take them to football, to take them to music lessons, whatever it might be. Talk about stuff, talk with them. When you lie down, for me, that's like bedtime. How am I remembering to bring the Bible, like kids' Bibles and stuff, into that time? Because that always sparks conversation and thoughts and moving on to prayer. And when you get up, which is probably the hardest one for us, because when we get up, we're like, we're late, get up, get down there. You know, so maybe I'm not so good at that one. But very practical, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. So how does that look in reality for people who are engaging with the younger generation in general? Because there will be some people who have babies and toddlers, right? And some people have teenagers. And how does that look on an everyday basis for you? Is it easy? Is it hard?
It's getting easier. It's hard when they're in baby phase, because like, how do you impress? You know, I'd love to get my Bible out and preach to a baby, but the baby doesn't care, and toddlers generally don't care. But I just remember the joy that I felt as they got old enough to grasp basic truths. Now, obviously, you're demonstrating the practical love of God to them just by caring for them and raising them. And one day they may thank you for that and appreciate it and realize it. But that is also impressing on them the values that God's placed in your heart for them. But then, you know, as they grow and they can grasp things more easily, concepts like sharing and generosity. Like, why does it matter that we tell people about Jesus? Who made this beach we're enjoying? I remember one time exactly that. They were looking out at the sea. First time one of our daughters really appreciated, this is like huge and amazing, looking out at the ocean and the beach. And I just say the phrase, God made that. And it's like, really, wow, this like, wow. Reaction from them, like that just made my day, really. You've impressed something of what God's placed in you on them. So super basic from that age, and then as they grow, you can obviously become more and more sophisticated in what you share with them.
So the Bible says, you know, train a child in the way they will go, and when they're older they won't flee from it, right? So what for people who don't have children, who don't have biological children or adopted children or foster children, what does this look like for them? To train children.
Well, I mean, this is the beauty of the church community, right? You have got children, even though they may not be living in your home with you. God's entrusted you with what you've learned and given you the opportunity to help the younger generation learn that stuff. I mean, if you're in our church, we love people to come and help. We've got space. It's the most it's the best kind of harvest field there is. I heard a statistic recently that said 80% of Christians made their decision to follow Jesus before they got to the age of 18. So if you want to be effective in mission and ministry, come and join Kerith Kids, you know, if you're part of our church, or the kids work wherever you're part of, and you just have tons of opportunity to impress it on your children. You might not have a teaching gift, but you just by loving them, just by serving them, just by having fun playing footy with them before the official program part starts, you'll be impressing those values on them, and that's everyone's opportunity.